Hey everyone, Rich Gasway here. Just a quick reminder that all of the SA Matters show episodes are now available on YouTube in addition to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. Some of the guests I interview in the near miss events have video and or audio clips to share, and I wanted a better way to share them and allow you to see the videos. But it just wasn't working out well just in an audio-only podcast format. So now all the episodes are also available on YouTube. Before I kick off this episode, I want to take a moment to just mention the live virtual training events that are now available. How does it work? For those agencies that might not be able to afford to host a live classroom event, I'll come to your organization live via the internet and train all your team members on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making processes. It's sort of like a webinar, except it's live, real-time, with actually me and your audience conversing with each other in the classroom. It's just over the internet. For less than $1,000, you can train your entire team on situational awareness. Virtual training is truly the easiest and most affordable way to train your members on this important topic. If you want to learn more about virtual training, just visit the SA Matters website and click on the orange box on the right side of the home page that is labeled Virtual Training Programs. If you want to talk to me about the programs and how you can incorporate it into your training schedule, just click on the Contact Us tab on the top of the home page and I'll give you a call. All right, that's enough of the pre-show announcements. Roll that SA Matters show intro. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
We can dance, everybody look at your hands. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance. Safe to dance, oh it's safe to dance. Yes, it's safe to dance.
Hello and welcome to episode 213 of the Situational Awareness Matters show. I'm your host, Rich Gasway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision making for individuals and teams who work in high risk, high consequence, time compressed environments with changing conditions. The SA Matters mission is simple: to help you see the bad things coming and time to avoid bad outcomes. I've been sharing the message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making at conferences and for individual organizations for 13 years now, and have traveled and trained all over the world for 64,000 plus students, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, aviation workers, oil refinery operators, and more. This message truly is for anyone who works in a high-risk, high-stress environment. I'm dedicated to improving your safety and your survival, and I'm here to offer you a message of hope and a message of inspiration, and to help you accomplish the most important goal of all, and that's to go home to the ones who love you. And speaking of sharing the message, today I'm coming to you from my office in Minnesota. I just returned from delivering a full-day situational awareness program for the Greensburg, Pennsylvania Fire Department. They also asked me to deliver the keynote address for their annual awards banquet, which was really quite an honor. I'm glad to be home, though, and spending a few days with my family before I head off to Virginia tomorrow to deliver a program for the International Women in Fire Service Conference. International Women in Fire and Emergency Services Conference in Tysons, Virginia. Okay, in today's feature segment, it's part 2 of a 2-part interview with near-miss survivor who thought he was going to a routine call, and it turned out to be anything but routine. And if the circumstances were just slightly different, it could have killed him. But before we jump into that, I want to take a moment to talk about the Company Officer Development Institute. Some of you know my second passion after situational awareness is developing the leadership skills of supervisors, something I did a terrible job of when I was the boss. I was guilty of promoting supervisors before they were prepared to lead others, and that was my fault. And then I got frustrated with them when they didn't know how to provide good leadership to those on their team and how to resolve personnel issues. And that was my fault too. So I created the Supervisor Development Institute. This program can be customized to run anywhere from 2 days to 5 days. And no matter how long the program is, there's no PowerPoint. Did you hear that? There's no PowerPoint. Can you imagine a week-long class that doesn't use PowerPoint? Is that even possible? Not only is it possible, but it's a better way to learn the skills essential for good leadership. When adults are engaged in the process of learning and not just being lectured to, learning can be fun. And the important part is the lessons stick. In this program, we'll share practical, actionable best practices for leadership, problem solving, conflict resolution, teamwork, communications, motivation, accountability, generational leadership, discipline, coaching for performance improvement, and more. Whenever I get the chance to talk to a fire chief about this program or a supervisor about this program, and they say, well, why would we want to host this? I say, the primary goal of what I'm trying to accomplish is to help keep problems managed and solved at the lowest level of the organization, teaching those people on the closest end to issues how to address them and how to solve them and how to keep them from escalating and becoming bigger problems. If you're interested in learning more about the program, about how to teach your supervisors a different and better way to lead and to hold underperformers accountable and to create committed followers, contact me. One of the questions I get asked a lot by readers of the blog and listeners and viewers of this show is, when are you coming to my area? I want to attend a program. Or where are you going to be next? Great questions, and the answer is really easy to find out. I've created a link on the homepage to the SA Matters website for the upcoming events. Just go to the homepage. On the right side, there's a blue box that says Live Training Dates. All right, in today's feature segment, it's part 2 of a 2-part interview with Twinsburg, Ohio Firefighter-Paramedic Jim Woolf. On March 20th, 2003, Twinsburg Firefighter-Paramedic Jim Woolf responded on Engine 4 to a reported electrical fire in an apartment building under construction. The fire was reported to have been extinguished by the workers on site. On arrival, there was nothing showing, and the crew went to the second floor to investigate. And what happened next was entirely unexpected, and as Jim stated, could have easily killed him. Okay, let's jump into our discussion, our continuing discussion with Twinsburg Firefighter-Paramedic Jim Woolf on his story and his near-miss event. Right. So, all right. So you get the fire knocked down, and you got some help coming. Were you injured as a result of this? Because we haven't discussed that yet.
I had some bumps and bruises, nothing serious. It was to the point where I ended up not going to the hospital, but I did. I don't think I finished the rest of the shift that day.
Jim, I don't know if you're doing something with your hands, but it sounds like some banging's going on around the microphone area. So I know sometimes it's I do this too. I fidget. That's why I hold an ink pen, so I don't. I don't fidget. But it's kind of making kind of a clicking or banging kind of noise. But go ahead. All right. So
it was me messing with the. I was just kind of fiddling with the bottom of the.
I do that all the time. All right. So continue on now. The fire's knocked down, and are you starting to feel any pain or anything, or you?
Once the adrenaline started wearing off, I was getting my back was. I injured my back. I had some bumps and bruises. All in all, I was just a very lucky individual.
Okay.
It was just, it was something that we talk about this all the time. If this would have happened, if anybody else on the department would have been in my position, we feel that there may have been 2 or 3 people in the department that would have done what I've done, what I did. Put my air, go on air just to check this little smoldering fire out.
Yeah.
So it was, I got lucky. I had some I had some back bruises and some bruises to my hips and just arms and legs and that, but nothing serious that warranted a hospital stay or anything.
So let's go down the what if road for just a moment. What if you had not taken the time to don your SCBA face piece? Can I go as far as to assume that you've given some thought to what the circumstances might have been had that?
Almost every single day.
Yeah.
Because thinking back, what the first thing that happens when you get startled like that is
Right.
You're breathing in. And that fireball just hit me in the face out of nowhere. And it wasn't, to me, it was just a fireball that hit me. But to my partner, the whole room was engulfed in flames in a millisecond. All he saw was an orange burst of flame the entire room erupted. I didn't see that, but I saw this hit me in the face, and it startled me, and I breathed in. If I would have not had my mask on, I would have been that would have went right into my lungs. I feel that I would have died that day had I not put my mask on.
So truly, about as much of a near miss as you could possibly imagine, that if only circumstances were slightly different, then our class in Twinsburg might have started with the memory of Jim and a moment of silence.
Absolutely. And we use this example a lot when we're doing training about what ifs and stuff like that, because if, like I was saying, if anybody else on the department, we have quite a young department. If anybody else would have been in my position that day, even my tool guy, a young kid, that they don't think in the back of their mind that cancers and everything it's not going to hurt them, and they wouldn't have put their air pack on. They wouldn't have put their mask on. It could have been anybody else. It just happened to be me, and I decided that I want to save my lungs.
Yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge you didn't put your SCBA face piece on thinking, well, this might erupt, and I want to be, I want to have the proper protection for an acute event here. You were thinking long term. I just don't want to breathe the stuff that's in this room when I pop my head up there.
I just don't want those dry chemicals from that fire extinguisher breathing in that. And there's a little bit of smoke too, and who knows what's in that smoke, That's what I was thinking. And nobody else, like I said, these young kids, they wouldn't have thought that. They would have gone up there, they would have just, without the mask on, because that smoke's not going to hurt them. And they would have just did what they had to do and be done with it.
Yeah.
Check out where that smoldering's coming from. They would not have put their mask on.
Okay. So now I'm gonna give you the platform to be Jim Woolf, the teacher. And for those that are listening and watching, teach them about the lessons that you learned from this, the things that you would want others to know, that because you lived, you now have a gift of knowledge that you can share. And here's your platform. So teach us something.
I guess the biggest thing would be, do not get tunnel vision. Do not spare any time. Take the time to put your pack on. Take the time to treat every emergency as an emergency. Smoke's going to harm you. It's going to harm you over the years. if you keep on taking it in. Don't feel that you have to be a tough guy, and you know, we're not smoke eaters like the past firefighters were. We need to be safe with the amounts of carcinogens in the atmosphere and that we're going into, and that we need to just take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that I could imagine that gas filled that void of the ceiling like that. There was no way that we could have imagined that we would be hit with an explosion that we did. It was accidental luck that we were able to to make it through that whole scenario there.
And does your department then now carry a different message to recruits coming in based on this event that happened to you, about any messages about complacent mindset or taking things for granted or not taking things for granted?
Yeah, complacency. There's no place for complacency in the fire service now, and that's one thing that I've had the opportunity to learn that several times, where I became complacent and in different situations, and it almost turned around and bit me in the butt. We now teach everybody needs to be ready to do the job at all times. We can't be without a pack on if we're responding to a suspected structure fire of any type. Even if we're just going for an alarm drop, we need to treat the alarm drops as if they are true emergencies, and then until we determine otherwise.
Do you do anything to hold each other accountable? Like if you see somebody on your crew that's maybe displaying some complacency in their mindset, is there a culture or an atmosphere where somebody can speak up and bring accountability without somebody feeling emotionally traumatized by the fact that somebody pointed out that maybe they're being complacent?
Peer pressure to a point, we do use that, and a lot of the older firefighters are starting to become. We tried to develop like a mentorship program with the older firefighters, teaching the younger firefighters, these little things here and there to make them more aware of what they're doing, and so that it doesn't have to come down to policies and procedures having to dictate what we do on a daily basis. Let's do it anyways and just be safe.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there anything that we didn't discuss that you would hope that we would have discussed regarding this incident?
No, the big thing was to expect the unexpected. Sometimes you never know what you're going to be faced. That day, one of the things that we kind of didn't think about was, where did all that gas go as it was leaking out? Because we heard the gas hissing, but we didn't smell any gas or anything like that. So once we had the gas turned off to the building, we thought, at that point, it's a safe area. We don't have to worry about it anymore. There was a lot of residual gas left in the line that leaked out, and it continued leaking out, but we didn't have that high pressure hissing, so we thought we were safe. We never took into consideration where the gas went and where it was sitting until the gas made it back to us and found that hot spot in the wall. And at that point,
At that time, Jim, do you remember if you guys had gas meters on the apparatus?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we had gas meters on the apparatus, but we didn't think we needed it. We didn't know it was a gas leak until we got up there. And at that point, like I said, the furnace room is outside of the building per se. It's on a balcony, an open balcony for the apartment. So, that gas just dissipated outside and into the open atmosphere. It didn't get into the building at all.
Mm-hmm.
We never smelled any gas. We never took that into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other lessons or anything related to this incident? Because if not, I want to shift gears for just a moment.
I think we covered it. I mean, it's just a matter of watch out for complacency. Make sure that you use your air pack. If there's anything, smoke, chemicals, dry chemicals, anything, make sure that you use all your personal protective equipment like it's supposed to.
All right.
You'll be going home at the end of the shift.
Excellent lessons. All right. Can we talk about your wife's initiative here? Is this okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So before we started the recording, you were telling me about how busy you've been because you're doing some things at work, but you're doing some things with your wife too. And then when you told me what she was doing, I was pretty impressed. So I think we should dedicate a little bit of airtime to giving her a shout out and having you say what she's doing and why she's doing it.
That would be my pleasure. My wife is a firefighter. She was a full-time firefighter for quite a while, and she still works part-time for the Highland Hills Fire Department, just a suburb of Cleveland. Throughout the years, she developed PTSD because of her work in the fire service, and she tried to find a way to cope with the symptoms of PTSD. And she did, in doing that, she found triathlons. So she started running triathlons, and that made her feel better, and she was able to cope with the PTSD issues. She decided last year that she wanted to make this to bring this out in the open to the public, so that people knew what PTSD was and how it affects firefighters. And firefighters are tough. We don't talk about these kinds of things. And she said she wants to bring out the word that PTSD is an issue that's affecting the fire service in general, all across the country. Career, volunteers, combination, wildland firefighters, it affects everybody. So she decided that she developed an organization called Rescue for PTSD. And she's raising awareness for firefighters with PTSD through the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
So is she just going to write a couple of blog articles to try to bring awareness, or is she going to do something radical here?
Oh, no. This is my wife. She decides that she needs to do something a little bit more above and beyond.
Such as what?
Such as she's going to be running a full Ironman triathlon. The whole entire marathon portion of the triathlon she's doing in full turnout gear with air pack and helmet. And she's going to be doing that. That's 26.2 miles in full turnout gear.
Now, to help manage the heat dissipation, she going to take the liners out of the turnout gear?
Oh, no. She decided that it isn't truly in turnout gear unless it's got the liners in it. So she is doing it with liners and everything. Now, she did a test run last month in Haines City, Florida. She ran a half Ironman in 90-degree heat, and but that's only 13.1 miles in the full turnout gear. It's not the 26.2. So that was a test.
Amazing.
And this is an Ironman competition. The first thing she's going to do is a 2.5 mile swim. Then she does a 120-mile bike. And then she does the full marathon. Now, the marathon portion is the only portion that she's doing in full turnout gear. But she's going to be the first female in the world to ever accomplish this. So what she's doing, and again, it's for rescue, the number 4 PTSD, and all donations are going to a firefighter awareness for PTSD research and awareness for firefighters.
Does she have a website, Jim?
Yes, it is a rescue for PTSD.
.com.
Yeah. And then you can also get to it through the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, because they've set it up so that all the donations, 100% of donations go directly to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation for Life Safety Initiative 13, which is the mental health and awareness. And the stats are out that firefighters are committing suicide more than we have line of duty deaths due to the fire service. And we've had several friends that I had one friend just committed suicide about a month and a half ago, and because of PTSD. So it's near and dear to us. And Diana will tell you, my wife will tell you, that she had contemplated suicide herself because it got to the point where that's how badly it affected her. So she's willing, she's strong enough that she can tell everyone what it is, what it's all about, and how she was affected by it.
Now, this triathlon that she's going to do, where is it at and when is it?
It's next month. It's beginning of June. I'm not sure of the date, but it's in Boulder, Colorado, is where we're going to be. She's been getting a lot of support. Fire Decks actually did a custom turnout gear for her that is really helping her out a lot. They took away some of the extra pockets and that, so that it's not as heavy, but it's still true. It's structural firefighting gear, and if she wanted to, she can throw it on and do the job. So.
From what you described to her, I'm surprised she didn't say keep the pockets and I want to be able to fill them up with rocks.
She actually had them add another pocket so she could keep all her nutrition and stuff, so she doesn't have to stop. She wants to keep going. She doesn't want to have to stop to eat a few things on the way, during the run. She wants to keep going, so she's going to keep candy bars and whatever and water and that. She's going to keep them in the pockets, so she does have pockets for the. Yeah. But she's got an air pack on too, so.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
I'm sure this is going to make the news, and we'll all get the opportunity to see this. And for those who are listening and watching, will be like, "Oh yeah, that's that lady." Oh my God! I mean, you got to think that half of that is driven by crazy, and half of that is driven by passion, because that's just.
I'd go 3/4 crazy. Yeah. I could say that though.
It's just it's amazing that the people do these triathlons, and then there were the Ironman competitions, but then it's just a whole new level of commitment and obligation to prepare when you're doing it in full turnout gear. And for what an amazing mission that she is on. So I just wanted to take a minute to just throw some acknowledgement toward her and what she's trying to accomplish, and to give you a shout out because you're going to be her Sherpa, right?
Exactly. I mean, she just did a 100-mile bike ride just Saturday. So, just because it needed to be done. It's crazy. It's amazing. She's an amazing woman, and the problem with mental health and the fire service is real, and she wanted to take that on as a cause, and she certainly has.
Yeah.
She's already been on Firehouse.com. Caught a story about her when she did the Florida run, and EMS.com did a little blurb. It's been on the local newspapers, and the local news stations have been running with it. And
What's her name, Jim?
Diana Woolf.
Diana
Correct.
Woolf.
Yes.
For anybody that wants to Google and find her. All right. Now, question for you. You've been training hard to carry her gear? You've been working out? And
I've got, absolutely. Absolutely. Every other day. No, I put too much time into work. Somebody has to pay for all this.
True.
I work full time, and I work part time, and I work part time, and then there's another part time job, and and she keeps me busy. So plus somebody has to take care of our dogs too, because she's always training and everything. So
yeah. Well, blessings to both of you for committing yourselves to this. Even though she's doing what I'd call the heavy lifting or the heavy running, it definitely takes the support to encourage the preparation and then even the event itself. So thanks to both of you for doing that. Thanks for being on the show and sharing your miss experience. It was very I don't know what the word would be. It raised my level of alertness toward how easy it is to be caught in a moment of being under prepared for those unexpected things. You say expect those unexpected things, and that was a great lesson.
Absolutely, it's opened my eyes to a lot of you got to think outside the box now. Nowadays, you just never know what's going to happen, and like I tell my guys, my shift crew, we're going to go home at the end of the shift, okay, and I'm going to make sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure of that. So that's the whole. I'm going to retire.
Right.
Retire healthy. So
right.
I can do more Sherpa work.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You need to have a healthy back, because she's going to need you to do a lot of heavy lifting.
That's right.
Jim, thanks for being a guest on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it as well. All right.
Thank you, Jim Woolf, for having the courage to share your near-miss story with the listeners and the viewers of this show. And thank you for the work that your wife is doing to raise money and awareness for PTSD. I have a favor to ask of you. The primary reason I created this show was to give a platform to those who experienced near-miss events to share their stories, just like Jim did. The experiences have really been nothing short of amazing and extremely educational. And I'd like to get more of those lessons shared with others. So if you've experienced or witnessed a near miss and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned, go to the SA Matters website and click on the Contact Us tab, and we'll get something set up. Think about that for a moment. The lessons learned from your near miss event could save the life of another responder. That's really powerful. What a wonderful gift that would be. If you're interested, contact me. All right, I want to take a moment to share a piece of participant feedback from a program that I did. It's been a few months ago now. So it says, Dear Dr. Gasway, I recently attended your presentation, and I can say with great certainty that the service that you provide to fellow firefighters is historic. Your research and science involved is going to change my level of performance. Your delivery was superb. Thank you for your commitment to those who have lost their lives and their families and have left their friends behind. You have honored them all by keeping their stories in the forefront and by showing us how to use our senses efficiently to recognize our own human limitations. Again, I thank you. Warmest regards, Ben Russell, Captain of the Walkerville Fire and Rescue Department in Walkerville, Michigan. Thank you, Ben, for that awesome feedback. The Michigan Fire Service has been a huge supporter of my mission. If you want to send me some feedback, just click on that Contact Us tab on the top of the homepage, and that'll send me an email. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the companies and organizations and agencies and departments that have hosted situational awareness training for their team members. I do this to show my appreciation of those who put forth the time and the effort to organize, advertise, and fund great training for their team on this important topic. Recent Situational Awareness Matters stops have included the Bureau of Land Management Leadership Symposium in Billings, Montana, the International Fire Department Instructors Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana, the Idaho Fire Chiefs Association Conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, Georgia Pacific Corporation in Madison, Georgia, Spruce Grove Fire Department in Spruce Grove, Alberta, the West Virginia Public Safety Expo in Charleston, West Virginia, Paramedic Services of Illinois in Chicago, and my most recent stop, Greensburg Fire Department in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Upcoming SA Matters tour stops will include on May 22nd, I'll be in St. Francis, Minnesota at Temperature Specialists. May 24th in Tysons Corner, Virginia for the iWomen's Conference. May 26th in Fredericton, New Brunswick for the New Brunswick Fire Chiefs Association Conference. And then May 29, June 4, 5, 11, and 14 back in St. Francis, Minnesota, all doing contract work for a company called Temperature Specialists. And then on June 13th, I'll be in Henderson, Nevada for Fire Rescue Med. And then I'm taking a whole month off. That's right, a whole month. During that time, I'll be celebrating my son's graduation from high school. Congratulations, Micah! The last of my brood of 4 to graduate from high school. So very proud of you, Micah. I will also be taking my annual trip to the Boundary Waters Wilderness Canoe Area for 7 days of canoeing, hiking, fishing, and hammocking. Is that a word? Hammocking? All right, we'll just say relaxing. And then when I get back, I'm getting a colonoscopy. Woohoo! What a pain in the butt that'll be, right? Is that oversharing? No, seriously. If you're over 50, get scoped. It can save your life. And it really isn't as bad as one could imagine it to be, thanks to the wonders of modern anesthesia. Okay, if you're interested in seeing the locations of all the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop events, head over to the SA Matters website and click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Live Training Dates. Just keep in mind that the schedule is always changing, so check back often. If you're interested in hosting a Situational Awareness Matters tour stop event, just reach out and contact me with the Contact Us tab on the homepage. There are already 80 plus situational awareness programs scheduled for 2018, and there are already some programs scheduled for 2019 too. So just a heads up, 2018 is filling up much faster than I expected, and I'm going to be running out of dates soon. And that's causing me already to push programs into 2019, which means 2019 is going to probably fill up quicker than expected as well. That's a great problem for me to have, knowing that the situational awareness topic is so popular, but it's also a challenge for me because if you're a host and you want to book a program on a specific date, it could be difficult to do that. The more flexible your dates are, the more likely I am to be able to accommodate your request. If you have a fixed date, the earlier you contact me, the more likely I am to be able to accommodate your request. I already have organizations that are contacting me for programs in 2020. If you think your department or agency might be interested, just click on that Contact Us tab. I have some great staff that will set this up for you and make it really easy. If you want to save some money, you could also consider hosting a companion program. These are programs on adjoining dates to already existing programs. So if you look at the upcoming event schedule and you see I'm going to be within a few hours of where you're located, contact me and tell me you're interested in being a companion. You can save as much as 20% off the program cost by being a companion. Okay, if you're inspired to learn best practices for improving your situational awareness and your high-risk decision making, then you want to get connected with me and become part of this community of learners. And there are several ways you can do that. There are over 75,000 people connected with us through our newsletter membership, podcast subscriptions, the YouTube subscribers, and followers on our social media feeds of Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. It is through these channels that I share ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to improve the skills of critical thinking and resilient problem solvers. Let's start with the newsletter. It's completely free. The newsletter will come to you by email once a month. The newsletter contains featured content from more than 400 articles on the SA Matters blog and more than 200 podcast episodes like this one on the SA Matters show, and over 300 videos on the SA Matters TV YouTube channel. And occasionally, in the newsletter, I'll offer subscribers special discounts on books, videos, virtual training, the online academy, and live events. Those specials are exclusive for newsletter subscribers. The newsletter truly is the best way for us to stay in touch with each other. Now, there are two ways you can subscribe to the newsletter. First, if you're located in the United States and you have a smartphone, you can text SA Matters to 22828. That's the letter S as in Sam, the letter A as in Adam, and the word matters, all together as one word, SA Matters, to 22828. Be sure to watch your autocorrect on your phone because it might try to change the word SA Matters to something else. If you do it right, you'll get a text message back on your phone to enter your email address. And once you do that, you'll be signed up for the newsletter. It's that simple. Now, I know some of you don't have smartphones, or you don't like to do that texting thing, or some of you are not based in the United States. In that case, just swing by the SAMatters.com website and click on the red box on the right side of the homepage labeled Free Membership. Click on that and it'll bring up a form you can fill out. If you want to subscribe to this podcast, you can subscribe by searching SA Matters Radio, all one word, SA Matters, and then the word radio, on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can search for SA Matters TV, all one word, SA Matters TV, on YouTube. You can follow the SA Matters page on Facebook. You can follow at Rich Gasaway on Twitter, or you can search for Rich Gasaway on LinkedIn. Okay, finally, the SA Matters show and the SA Matters TV YouTube channel have been blessed to have enjoyed over 800,000 downloads and views. That makes this show officially the longest running, fastest growing, independently operated, safety focused show on the internet. And I'm looking to add an additional sponsor. So if you know of a company that might be interested in advertising their product or service on this show, ask them to contact me through the website. Well, that's it. Episode 213 is complete. Thank you again to my guest, Twinsburg Firefighter-Paramedic Jim Woolf, for sharing your amazing near-miss story. Thank you to our awesome sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all the companies, agencies, and organizations that have hosted Situational Awareness Matters training programs. Thank you to the organizations that have hosted the live, virtual, internet-based programs. Thank you to the more than 2,000 students and graduates of the acclaimed Situational Awareness Matters Online Academy. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners and viewers of this show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit SAMatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.